Well, let's speak now to Andrei Kozyrev, who was Russia's foreign minister from 1990 to 1996 under Boris Yeltsin. Thank you so much for talking to us. When they give these speeches, the Russians at the UN, do you listen to them?
No, I try to stay away because it's, disgusting. And it's all lies. And that's why I called for them, all Russian diplomats, to resign, because otherwise they just spread propaganda. And it's not for a decent diplomat to spread propaganda. Diplomats are honorable profession, like British diplomats, for instance. I think one of the best actually in the world. And so they disgrace their country, they disgrace themselves, and listening to them or kind of negotiating with them under the circumstances is just waste of time and waste of your own self-respect.
Do you think the negotiations that we understand are continuing via video link, and which Zelensky himself said that there could be some positives coming out of it, do you think they are a waste of time?
Yeah, but they are in a very special situation. And when the foreign minister Kuleba speaks to Lavrov, he has to do that because he has to try anything which could help his people. So he is doing his job. But frankly speaking, these negotiations would lead nowhere because you know that before, Ukrainians more than they already did, and NATO and the West give Putin and his regime a bloody nose, he will not talk seriously.
It was very interesting, and I'd like to get your point of view about this, because Lavrov worked under you, didn't he? He was your deputy?
Yes, of course. He was my deputy.
So you know him very well.
I knew him very well.
You knew him very well. So after one of those negotiating sessions, I don't know if it was the second or the third one, you had Kuleba come out, and they had their press conferences on at the same time. And Kuleba basically said, well, it's okay talking, but Lavrov, we know at the table he has absolutely no power, so then he has to go back to Moscow, and what's the point of just talking? And then Lavrov was sitting there in his press conference and saying, oh yes, this is going places, and eventually Putin and Zelensky will meet. However, we only want them to meet when there's something substantial. So does Lavrov have any power at all?
No, he's not. He's like, a servant. He reduced himself, and Russian Lavrov reduced himself and Russian diplomacy to lackeys. So he's nobody until, again, Putin's nose bleeds, and he then, only then, starts to talk, either through Lavrov or directly. He can pick up a phone and talk to Grand President Zelensky. So it's easy.
What do you make of Zelensky and how he's coming out of this?
I think he is a great war president, and he makes history, and he talks to, for instance, I heard his speech at the parliament, at the, Congress in the United States, and that was very sophisticated political speech, and he is gaining daily the skills and knowledge, and I would say even wisdom of a world leader.
Okay, so Andrei, how does this play out? How is it going to end? What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? That Ukrainians are already in counteroffensive on some fronts, and there is no way for Russia, or rather Putin, to win this war. So it only depends how soon they will be on a losing side. And that depends very much on the Western support, which should be upgraded daily and very strongly. And don't worry, he is not, I mean, Putin is not suicidal. He's as crazy as a fox, as a wily fox. And he will not suicide pressing the nuclear buttons. But if the West shows fear, he will probably go even to chemical weapons. So don't fear.
So do you think they should go in and have boots on the ground? Because it's just not going to happen. We've heard Joe Biden, how many times has he said it? If we go in, it's World War III.
You know, some things never happen or don't happen until they do. But anyway, boots on the ground is far away before the West and Great Britain including, especially the NATO, could go many steps on the road, strong steps from much more pressure and much more effective way to dealing with oligarchs, so-called oligarchs.
Do you think they have the clout?
Of course, everybody has the clout. Even ordinary people in Russia, when they start to feel more and more the hardships, they will have a way, and the oligarchs, of course, and not so even oligarchs, the men of money, but the men of politics. There are hundreds of officials who also have their families and their money in the West, including, I believe, partly in London, and they don't want to be there in the Soviet Union back again. They want to make money there, as Putin rightly said, and spend this money abroad, make it difficult for them, and they will find a way to stop the war, or at least exercise their power inside to, mitigate those things. So don't think for them. I mean, why are you all in the West think how to ramp Putin? How to, will they do or will they not? Do what you can to press all of them, and they will find their ways. They are big boys. You know, some of them are very rich boys.
Very, very rich boys, yes. Andrei.
So please, they will find their way. Just do it. Just press them more and more, and now.
Okay, I'm going to have to jump in. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. I mean, I can talk to you all, well, for many hours about this topic, but I'll let you get on with your afternoon.
And my book, read my book.
Ah, okay, that looks interesting.
People can learn a lot from my book.
Okay, thanks. We're going to have to go. Thank you.